law, a media outlet is defined as any organization, including organizations behind internet search engines and any and all websites or sentient beings that directly or indirectly influences news broadcasts or publications in any form, including books, audiobooks, and any source of information available to the public that could influence the public in any type of election or whose activities could cause direct or indirect harm to innocent persons. Innocent, sentient beings being those that have not violated or are not intending to violate conspiracy law. All laws that apply to clones also apply to fake substitutes. So let's say the perpetrator of a conspiracy law violation is not a clone, but an evil automaton who's committed a death penalty violation of conspiracy law. That evil automaton must be destroyed or reconstructed, making him or her in compliance to conspiracy law, the equivalent of the death penalty for a clone. Conspiracy law. The Pope under conspiracy law is Jesuit leader Zach Knight, not the Pope as seen in the news media. Zach has come to Gail and Jesus' side as of September 1st, 2020. Conspiracy law, the term Jesuits or Jesuit conspirators refers to willing and knowing Loree McBride Jesuits. Any willing and knowing use of or action to promote clones or half-clones or fake substitutes that furthers the goal of the Jesuit order, those Jesuits who desire to violate conspiracy law and or that violates the principles of conspiracy law and or would bring harm to significant persons, will bring the death penalty as a Jesuit conspirator to that violator. A fake substitute is defined as any being or presence, automaton, clone, half-clone, computer, image, etc., that impersonates an authentic person with the intent to violate conspiracy law. To promote is defined as to give credibility to the lies of a clone with the willing and knowing intent to assist the clone in Jesuit deceptions and lies against innocence. Whenever a Jesuit clone of a significant person impersonates that significant person in a manner that promotes Jesuit treachery, lies, and deceptions, that clone has committed a death penalty violation of conspiracy law. To impersonate is defined as a clone or fake substitute, taking over the significant person's official online sites and faking to be that significant person, and or granting interviews as the significant person, and or taking over in part or in whole any of the significant person's property, financial, or any type of accounts, and or taking over in part or in whole anything that is the significant person's property or identity to the world, and doing so without the significant person's willing and knowing consent. That clone, and all who willingly and knowingly helped him or her to violate conspiracy law, must be arrested and tried before the world in a military tribunal on the Gabrielle Chana FOX news channel. Both the Jesuit clone and the person he impersonates must attend the tribunal. All of that clone's lies and deceptions will be exposed on the Gabrielle Chana FOX news channel. The authentic person who suffered from the crimes of this impersonator will make a statement under 666 computer lie detection on Gabrielle Chana FOX News, refuting all the lies of the clone. Next, we'll show evidence of the damage made by the clone and those who assisted him or her on Gabrielle Chana FOX News. The judge who oversees this case will state that anybody who willingly and knowingly supports the Jesuit order in their deceptions and lies to undermine innocent, significant persons must be executed as a war criminal, because the Jesuit order is guilty of the murder of billions, and we cannot tolerate anyone who supports the Jesuit order and who tries to help the Jesuits succeed in their goal for world dominion by undermining innocent people. The authentic and significant person will then be handed the execution instrument and will publicly execute his or her clone on worldwide television, the Gabrielle Chana FOX News Channel, to make an example of that clone and to show the world that lies, deception, and murder do not pay under conspiracy law honoring nations. Those who assisted him or her may also be executed at this time, depending on how much they willingly and knowingly assisted him or her in conspiracy law violations. Next, the judge will read off a list of all media outlets, publications, and news broadcasts that willingly and knowingly cooperated with the clone in his or her deceptions, and they'll be fined a very steep fine for this cooperation. The Homeland Security Department will launch an investigation behind all lying information presentations by media outlets related to the crimes of the clone, and all Jesuits and journalists and media outlets who willingly and knowingly conspired with the clone in the lying conspiracy will all be executed publicly on the Gabrielle Chana FOX news channel at the same time as the evil clone. The names of all media outlets, publications, news broadcasts, and all forms of publications or broadcast or information presenters that participated with the Jesuit clone and his or her lies will be mentioned and listed or mentioned in a public broadcast on the Gabrielle Chana FOX news channel and will all be fined for criminal journalism. If the published and broadcast lies happened outside of the will and knowledge of the media outlet, broadcaster, or publication, an investigation will be made into how these lies managed to get published or broadcast, and those responsible for the publication or broadcast of the lies will be exposed publicly on the Gabrielle Chana FOX news, and those responsible will be fined, and if they willingly and knowingly participated in the Jesuit lies that impersonated an innocent person in a manner that supported Jesuit goals, the criminals behind the Jesuit lies will also be executed publicly, if possible, on Gabrielle Chana FOX News. In cases where a fine is assessed and the person who paid the fine is also executed, and or if he or she is unable to pay the fine, the Loree McBride Jesuits will be liable for the fine, and Jesuit bank accounts will be seized to get the fine if necessary. The fine will be assessed for each day that the lying article or broadcast remains in publication or broadcast. All fines will go toward funding the Homeland Security departments and military operations of conspiracy law-honoring governments. A list of significant persons will be presented to all media outlets, broadcasters, and online and print or book publications. No media outlet, broadcaster, or online or print or book publication can present to the public any form of information presentation about any significant person without prior approval from the Homeland Security departments for accuracy. The reason for this is twofold. One, if a media outlet presents to the world a dangerous lie, they will be fined. Two, to prevent having to fine a media outlet, they must clear the information presentation with the Homeland Security departments of their country for accuracy. Most countries now honor conspiracy law. Jesuits are sly, and most media outlets need help to ensure their information presentations are accurate. We offer this as a free service. A dangerous lie is defined as a lie that willingly and knowingly defames, injures, harms a significant or innocent person with the intent to weaken or bring down that significant or innocent person, to enhance the ability of Loree McBride Jesuits to take over the world, and which could really damage that significant or innocent person's present or future ability to defend themselves against evil Loree McBride Jesuits. A Loree McBride Jesuit is defined as a sentient being who willingly and knowingly supports Loree McBride, who poses as the past, present, and or future real Brent Spiner's love interest in her lies, terrorism, and her goal to take over the world for Satan, and works with her to directly or indirectly thwart the real Brent Spiner from safely marrying Gail Chord Schuler. Lies have inundated the mainstream press, so we need to differentiate between lies and dangerous lies so that this law can be enforced effectively, with our law enforcement not wasting time on lies that aren't of much consequence. If they went after every lie, this law couldn't be enforced because there are just too many lies. Because this is such an overwhelming task, we allow the use of computer technology to help our Homeland Security departments weed through the massive information presentation by media outlets submitted to us for approval. We can use bots and programming that help us identify dangerous lies in the information presentation. The Homeland Security Department will coordinate with the nanotechnology research team to come up with the most effective ways to screen media outlets' information presentations for approval as outlined in this legal document. All methods used to screen these information presentations must honor conspiracy law, or whoever is willingly and knowingly behind any methods used for screening news reports that violate conspiracy law will receive the death penalty as a Jesuit conspirator. Past lies still presented and or available to the public will be analyzed to determine if they're dangerous, and if so, they must be dealt with according to conspiracy law and or this document. Significant persons are persons such as Gail Chord Schuler, Vladimir Putin, Matthew McConaughey, Brent Spiner, Donald Trump, Kim Jong-un, etc., and all the men on Gail's marriage list, and any person who has a significant impact on the life of Gail Chord Schuler and her men. This is not a violation of freedom of the press or speech, but a wise measure to help honest media outlets that present information in their job. Because Jesuits use their clones to deceive, The Homeland Security departments will review the information presented to ensure it's true about the significant person and not a dangerous lie caused by the actions of a clone or Jesuit conspiracy. Once the media outlet's information presentation passes inspection, a copy will be made of it at the Homeland Security Department, and it must be presented to the public exactly as submitted to the Homeland Security Department. Because some broadcasts are impromptu, this is fine, as long as the content remains truthful and all the content has been cleared for accuracy through the Homeland Security Department that has jurisdiction over that media outlet. This is a lot of work for the Homeland Security Departments, and honest media outlets should be glad that they get free support in their research for their stories to help them avoid fines, defamation lawsuits, etc. Any media outlet in a conspiracy law-honoring nation that puts out information about significant persons without prior approval from the Homeland Security Departments will be subjected to a fine for not getting prior approval. If the information put out is not true and full of lies or unnecessarily invades privacy, they'll also be fined for each day the information is put out to the public. If the information put out is true but invades the privacy of the significant person in a manner that makes it easy for that significant person to be harassed by Jesuits and did not need to be put out for the public's welfare, the media outlet will also be subjected to a fine for each day the story or article is presented to the public. Those media outlets who are serious violators of this section of conspiracy law about media outlets who cover significant persons will be boycotted and published in a list as criminal media outlets who support the evil Jesuit order. This list can include individuals such as authors who are also considered a media outlet. The Gabrielle Chana FOX news channel will maintain this list on their website and may read off names from the list of criminal media outlets to make the public aware who these criminal media outlets are. If they are financed with Jesuit monies, this will also be exposed on Gabrielle Chana FOX News. Once a media outlet's been boycotted, no advertiser can use them for advertisement for their products. No one is allowed to financially support or profit off of that media outlet or its subsidiaries. To do so would be financing and supporting a terrorist organization and will result in steep fines against both the advertiser and or the media outlet by the international government, which are all nations that honor conspiracy law. Very serious violators of this law about media outlets will be shut down and or taken over by the government, and the names of all persons involved in the media outlet will be arrested as Jesuit conspirators and tried on the Gabrielle Chana FOX News channel. Those who willingly and knowingly used media lies and deceptions to support the Loree McBride Jesuits in their media presentation will be executed publicly on Gabrielle Chana FOX News. In cases where a journalist or media outlet was willingly and knowingly manipulated into presenting a dangerous lie about a significant person, that journalist or media outlet may still suffer a fine, but it may be a lesser fine or no fine, depending on the degree of guilt as determined by motive. Manipulated or manipulation is defined as being extorted, taken over, illegally cloned or copied or tricked, using any and all direct or indirect methods of lie presentation, including use of brain control to promote a dangerous lie. The criminals behind the direct or indirect willing and knowing manipulation will be exposed on Gabrielle Chana FOX News, and the Jesuit order's involvement will be exposed. The greater fine will be sent to the Loree McBride Jesuits or guilty party for payment, and if possible, the guilty party behind the manipulation will be executed publicly on Gabrielle Chana FOX News. Willing and knowing direct or indirect manipulation of a media organization to present dangerous lies will not be tolerated, and all such manipulation will be exposed and those behind the manipulation executed publicly if possible. In fairness to freedom of speech and the press, negative or unfavorable information presentations by media outlets about significant persons can be presented as long as this information presentation is necessary for the public's welfare and does not unnecessarily invade the privacy of the significant person, and as long as the information presentation is true. Regardless of whether the information presentation is true or false, all information presentations by media outlets that involve significant persons must be reviewed for accuracy by the Homeland Security departments that have jurisdiction over that media outlet before the information is presented to the public, and these presentations cannot unnecessarily invade the privacy of significant persons. The Homeland Security departments will scan all information presentations by media outlets for accuracy, dangerous lies, and unnecessary privacy invasion. In serious cases of criminal media outlets from non-conspiracy law nations, We may make a declaration of war against that non-conspiracy law nation to deal with the problem of criminal journalism coming from that country.